Who's got the YouTube open?
I don't know if you wanted us to answer.
I mean, I do.
I mean,
You have one, Tom, make sure we're streaming.
I do not, but I probably should. I could find it though,
yeah.
pretty easily.
Terry, you got it on your phone?
Checking right now.
Before I hit start recording.
I mean, I have it,
Yeah.
but,
I'm
oh
looking
yeah, it
at
does say live, it says
Yeah,
live.
it says live. I'm looking at it.
Okay.
Okay,
Then we're good.
I will
Giving it a
call
like.
the Town of Porter Environmental Sustainability Commission for July 15th to order at 7 PM. Please rise for pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Tammy, roll call?
Ms. Duffy?
Here.
Mr. Phillips?
Here.
Mr. Throw?
Here.
Ms. Dimitrov?
Here.
Ms. Reynolds?
Here.
Mr.
Not Mr. Reynolds, sorry. Sorry, Mitch.
It's all right.
Thank you, we have a quorum. And now, in your package, you guys should have gotten the minutes from June 17th. I'm looking for a motion to approve those minutes.
I'll make that motion.
I will.
Okay, any questions on the minutes? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Audience participation, anybody? Okay, seeing nobody approach, nobody here, that's done. Old business, we have nothing. New business, we have 4 things. I will try to turn and burn through my first 2 things and then give Jenny, the rest of the time she needs to talk about what she wants to talk about. I'm gonna talk, really briefly about, native garden updates, and then I wanna, if that's okay with everybody, just move, to items Clean Community Program, because we have to vote on that. But the update really quickly for Native Gardens is that thanks to Urban Pollinator Project, who is our sponsors and partners for our town hall gardens, we now have the Hawthorne Garden paid for and installed. That is a big update. They called me 2 days after the last meeting, and because we had already approved the location, Brian had already approved the location, we already went through town council and they approved it. It was really easy to say, sure, I'll go with you and grab some plants. And I did, and I barely kept them alive. And then this Saturday we installed them. They're all purple blooms, which UPP wanted me to mention. That was specifically for in front of the War Memorial, as that signifies, that color signifies animals that have been lost in war. Horses, dogs, stuff like that we don't really think. They thought that was really appropriate for a park and in front of the War Memorial. I thought that was nice. What else? I just think that's our last garden of the year. It's obviously on budget. We didn't pay anything for it. It's ahead of schedule. We're done on, in July. And I just really want to say, I think that the gardens make a very positive ecological impact in Porter. Very happy for them. I know David and I were talking that it's just so cool to have a work in a commission and do work for the town, knowing that you left the town better than you found it.
Right.
Yeah. Is that kind of how everybody feels about the gardens?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. 100%.
Well worth it.
Okay, and I'd also like to thank you guys for planting. Town of Porter Parks Department did the heavy lifting on July 3rd, no less, right before the big event that they had.
Wow.
They got our gardens cleared, so all we had to do was plant, and that's very volunteer appropriate. So I really want to thank Brian for that. And Jenny and David are probably the most joyful garden planters I have ever met.
Oh yeah.
They came to that garden and it's just a positive vibe. I don't think I'm not, and you are a hard worker, but I feel like they just really enjoy.
I agree.
The next thing up for the gardens, I really don't want to do anything but water these gardens this year. In 2026, I would like to have another goal of another 2 gardens in the maps. Is that kind of what people are thinking? Is everyone?
Yeah, I think that's good.
Good idea.
Give us a break and get us a chance to get our bearings straight Mitch, any progress with the maps?
I
or-
have been so busy this month. I've
That's
been
okay.
mostly out of town. Like I spent like at least half the month in Indianapolis.
Makes sense.
So
We have a lot of time, I think until next spring really. But the way that we did it last time was to us approve it, town council approve it, have the department heads approve it. That way they're ready to go. Makes the funding of these really easy. That's the only reason that I was able to get that funded, because we had already done all the work. And I knew where it was gonna go, and I knew it was approved. So that was, I was hoping to do the next 2 gardens in the map. The only question I have is, do we want to do a committee for that, Mitch? Or are you thinking,
You mean to plan the gardens, you think, or just
we're
to
looking
make the map?
both. The planning of the gardens is part of the map, and we're kind of finishing it up this year, right, Jenny?
Well, actually, I need something now for Emily Brettles, a neighborhood walk. She wants to have
Oh,
a map to
okay.
promote it for her. She's gonna,
So you
Put
need a
together a
smaller
promotion.
map, and then we also need a bigger map.
yeah, map for the future.
Do you want to work on the smaller map and then get together with Mitch for bigger map, or how do you guys like to do that?
I'm not very good at that, but yeah, I'll take a stab at it.
Is that okay?
I'd be open to that. Yeah, yeah. That works for me.
You
And
guys-
I'd like to hear other people like mention, different locations with Porter as well, and not just be like my perspective on it, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah, as far as where the locations are, I think we should all have input. I think we
Yeah.
will. I think that we're just talking more about actually making the map itself, but we have time this fall and winter
Yeah.
to come up with the places that we want to put things.
We have a lot of time. We have another,
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't know, 8 months,
yeah.
really, because we're done for 2026 and you're not going to do anything in December.
Mm-hmm.
It's just nice December, January, February to get that stuff approved.
Yeah, yeah,
That's-
okay.
That's all.
Yeah, that would be the best time to do it, I think.
And I'm happy to meet. I'm happy to work, in any, but I think the goal is by 2027, we have flyers out, we have our gardens done. These gardens should be full bloom, right? Is that kind of the idea? Okay. Thank you, guys. Any other comments on the native gardens?
I didn't realize that one little purple flower out there, I can't think of what it's called. I didn't realize it bloomed throughout the summer. That's nice. It's blooming again.
Yeah, the tall one, you mean? There's
No.
a few
It's-
purple ones. You mean the small?
The small
Short
ones,
ones,
yeah.
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 It's just a bluebell, isn't it?
Bluebells.
Yeah. Yeah, they're pretty. I love the library garden is so cool.
I never thought that stuff would get so tall in 1 year. It's almost
Oh,
scary.
yeah,
I have to take a look at it. I was literally just standing right there and I didn't even look. How could I?
that did very well.
Okay, moving on. There's still a lot to talk about, but I don't think we need to talk about it this meeting. We'll get together and then bring it to a meeting when we're ready. I'd like to jump just to the item clean communities because we should put that to a vote. Did everyone get that in their packets and kind of look over that information? This comes from the last meeting during comments. Jenny really wanted to do Partners for Clean Air, which I loved. Our air quality is an issue here in Porter and Northwest, the region, the entire region, because of our location next to industry. But when I looked over the actual application, and I have it here if you guys want to look over anything, like, it just says, I have a couple of them. This is the application, and it was like, can you do office remote work policy? Could you also do, paperless billing and direct deposit of checks? This just wasn't in our wheelhouse to do, like all of these. So you're supposed to do 4 of those projects. That just seemed like that's not ESC's wheelhouse. It wasn't appropriate for us. So then I looked at IDEM's Clean Communities program, and that was really appropriate for us. So that's what we're looking at tonight. Jenny, you can certainly still do the Partners for Clean Air on an individual level. We do not need to vote on that. We would just thank you profusely because that's very helpful to us. But I think on a government level, I I would just try to do the Clean Communities program, and that is what we're talking about now. The Clean Community program is 3 different levels as well. IDEM has like 4 different partnership programs. This one I think is most suited to us. I sent out the packet of information. We've already done a couple of those projects. I think the requirement is for a silver level is to do 4 projects altogether, 2 in each category or 2 per category. So we're already kind of doing the gardens. That's a project that counts. I don't know what else to say about
Do
that.
you mean native gardens, or were they just specifically community gardens, which are more vegetable gardens? Like, we do have one, there's one at the
I would call
library.
your native gardens, community gardens, but we can certainly get clarification. Nonetheless, the bronze level doesn't require any of those projects. For the bronze level, just to enter, you just have to fill out a sign. Let's see if I have it. Do I have it? You just have to fill out an application that says that you've been compliant. Here's the application. It just says, have you been compliant within the last 3 years of all item stuff, which I think is the MS4 program.
Yeah.
And we have been. They're also asking for a community name, the highest elected official in your town. So that would be Laura. So we would have Laura fill out the application. The other thing it requires is establishing a clean team, which that makes sense because we're already set up in that capacity to be a clean team. And then you have to attend a clean annual meeting. This is at no cost to us. There's some peer recognition, workshops and conferences. There's some visibility. You'll get your name, Town of Porter. It won't be ESC, it will be Town of Porter on the Clean Community website and press releases. And then they'll give us some window clings and flags and maybe a street sign. And I like that. And I think that makes a lot of sense. I would like to do a silver level, but right now, all we're looking at is if we want to fill out this application, and I would just have to ask Laura, that's the application. It's a really simple application. It's like, are you compliant? Yes. You know, did you follow all state and federal laws? Is your community up to the standard? Yes.
You're gonna ask Laura to do that.
I have to.
This is really short.
So this program is 3 years old. It was older than that, but it's new as of 3 years. Only 9 Indiana towns are on it now. And they did make it easier within the last 3 years to join. I would like to talk about doing a silver and gold level, but I think we can at very least do the bronze. And then talk about the other things. It's at your own pace. It's free.
I was gonna ask about the time limit. Is there a time limit to reach silver level?
No.
So we can work on these throughout the upcoming year,
And we're
or
already
the board can, should I say.
And we're already working on them, so why not get the recognition?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right,
I think it's great.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree as well.
What else did I have to say about this? Yeah, and so there are some things that are on the pre-approved list, which I sent out, but we can also talk to IDEM about other projects that we might have, that we just want to get approved. So that's not even an extensive list of things that we could be doing. But yeah, so when I looked at that list compared to the other list, this is in our wheelhouse, and we can do it. So, I don't know, I guess at that point, if everyone is ready to vote, maybe if we can make a motion to, I guess, what would the motion be to fill out?
To apply for IDEM's Clean Community Program,
Yes.
level bronze for now.
Through Laura Patty.
You don't have to put the level, just that will apply,
Okay.
and we'll decide later. Okay, you made a
I
motion?
made a motion to apply to IDEM's Clean Community Program. I motion that we do apply.
Okay. Thank you, Jenny.
I second.
Thank you, Mitch. Are there any further questions on the item Clean Community Program? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, that has passed. I will get back to you on what Laura says. Ultimately, this application does require her name, so, thanks, guys. On to you, Jenny. Do you want to talk about Native Garden Walks and Plastic Free July, and any other comments?
Okay. We are still on for Tuesday, August 12th, with Emily Brettel to do a neighborhood walk to see all of our gardens that we put in so far. And we also are gonna put on Nathan Peelis. I hope we can get it all done in an hour, but, you know, we're gonna do a walkthrough soon and see how much time it takes. And maybe I'll make the map after that. We might have to cut out one of them. And Plastic Free July, I sent out this group of, page of discussion questions that we got at the Plastic Reduction Alliance meeting in Valparaiso last month. And it's just to give you some things to think about as far as projects to do next July, because we're kind of late to the party this year for July. Anybody have any ideas about what they would like to do to promote Plastic Free July? I know that meeting there, it seemed like the takeaway was that they wanted us to do more trash pickup things and not just at the beach.
Right.
Maybe we could approach businesses and ask them to, would they be willing to adopt a highway project, or so that we're not the only ones doing it all the
Right.
time.
I also thought that meeting was great. We had a lot of, it was a meeting specifically designed for municipalities. Highland was there, Valpo was there, Chesterton, I think, was there. Who else was there? There were some people from Lake County,
Hobart.
Gary. Yeah,
Over East Chicago.
so that was really a cool community, or cool involvement. The biggest thing that I took away was that they want residents to be more educated. So they did bring 2 pamphlets to that meeting, and I was able to take those and offer them for Plastic Free July. We do participate, although I'm not even sure what the Plastic Free Alliance is doing other than the cleanup. They are doing the cleanup. Our participation has just been these pamphlets this year. It's also a brand new thing, so I think as the years go by, I would hope that every July we just do something to either educate our residents or a project like you had mentioned.
I mean, I was brainstorming, so I was looking at this a couple of days ago when I was brainstorming, just answering the questions in general, but second question is what policies / ordinances aimed at to reduce single-use plastics would you like to see? I wrote down requirements for food vendors to offer compostable or reusable alternatives. Maybe not even a requirement, maybe it could just be an incentive. Like the next one, incentives for businesses to adopt plastic-free practices, like using wooden spoons instead of plastic spoons, which would cost a little bit more, but then they could get some kind of town recognition for that. Having bulk stations or water bottle refill points, like, we have a water fountain in Hawthorne, but having those more around, I don't know what the road's called, but the road with all the restaurants and whatnot on it. Lincoln, yeah. What else? Those are just some smaller ideas that we can implement. They're simple. They're pretty simple. Just contacting individual store owners and saying, "Hey, what can we do to help you? Do you have a recycling program yet? Do you just throw everything away?" I could totally pick up their recycling and bring it to, or pay to, individually recycle
To
it.
bridge that gap with what you're saying is that you would like to speak with businesses. Items, if you look at this pre-approval list, it's implement a sustainable purchasing policy. That is where they give you training on all of the different food items, like purchasing items that you can buy that are more sustainable than the dirty dozen of styrofoam.
Yeah.
That way you can go to those businesses armed with a little bit of knowledge and a price sheet that might help them.
Yeah.
And also, we can talk about porter events doing that. I know we have the big,
Yeah.
What's the beer event called? Perfect Pint?
Perfect pint, yeah.
Perfect. Thanks.
We might be able, with items, help. They have if you look on their website and not look over the 3 hours of training videos they have on this, but they do have them, that they'll talk about where you get those things, what does the price look like, how does it compare, and how, it even gives you a script on how to talk to decision makers.
Okay, cool. I like that. I'll look into that.
Maybe for next year, so it would kind of do a crossover, it would help us with IDEM, but it's also just IDEM would help you with that,
Okay.
for next.
I mean, even over the winter, because we don't, well, like, I'm not opposed to doing that. Well, after. Ooh.
When is the perfect bite? September,
Yeah,
It's
whatever.
usually in the
Isn't it
fall.
October?
October?
Yeah.
I mean, around that time, we could start it because,
Do you want to do it though for Plastic Free July?
or just in general. It doesn't even have to be specifically for Plastic Free July. It could just be something that we do.
Are
For
you
the
thinking, Jenny,
sustainability.
like to gear up for next year?
Yeah, or we could just,
I don't know how much time would be involved with August, September, 3 months.
because once college applications are done,
Yeah.
no,
Probably should wait till next year.
late August or late.
I'm kind of thinking
October.
next year too, only because we are kind of running on all 4 cylinders, which is great. I love the momentum. But I'm ready to slow down a little bit after we've hit all of our goals. What do you think, David?
Well, I was thinking on the lines of what Devin had said about the ordinance, but I was thinking more of, can we apply an ordinance or a policy to Hawthorne Park itself that we have to, as a town, only will not use, we won't use single-use plastic in our community center anymore. Now, I understand wooden utensils are more expensive. I looked into that before I came in here, and roughly could be double the price, maybe not quite as much if you shop around, but it is more. But, so I know that's gonna cost the town money, but if we can't lead by example, how are we gonna expect businesses to do it?
Right.
And I
We have to
think
stop
if,
letting money be something that stops us.
right, and
Yeah.
I know it does gonna cost money, but if we could do it there and people, the Doolin seniors go there and they use it all the time, what are they using? Single-use plastic, single-use plastic. So if we could start with something close to home, I think that's where we should start anyway.
Yeah.
Is our own, look at our own house first, you know. I'm not expecting everyone to like eating
Yeah.
food with a spoon that may give them splinters. I'm not saying that it will, but there's
Yeah.
better quality stuff out there that's made out of
Bamboo
wood now
ones
that
are
you can
good.
get used
Oh,
to.
yeah, the wood ones are really good, yeah.
Bamboo, and I think you
Yeah,
can make
there's
them out of
bamboo.
avocado,
Yeah.
And-
avocado seeds.
And I
Yep.
looked at some of the pricing, and you can get it at a decent price. It's just that as you get more and more into the bulk, the plastic gets cheaper and cheaper, and it's hard to compete with.
Yeah.
But there's one area that could we set an example and then go to the businesses and say, here's what we're doing already. Can you follow us? Can you emulate this practice?
Yeah.
Perfect Pint, Hawthorne Community Center.
Yep, those are
And-
2 areas where a lot of single-use plastic is.
Yeah.
Question for you. When people rent the Hawthorne, they bring their own stuff.
That's the next step, and that should be, or could be incorporated into it, not just
I
the
thought that's
town
what you
buying
meant.
things, but both. When the town has to buy things for events, or when people bring them in, we could say, no, that's gonna be a little of a learning curve, because we have to find some way to provide them with an option to buy it at somewhat of a discounted price, or at least cheaper. Because right now, the price on some, if you don't buy a lot, it looks like it's about double in price, if you just throw a dart at it. If you keep searching, you can get closer, maybe it's 50% more than plastic to buy the wood or bamboo, but there's both. But I think it's worth looking into, because we have to start somewhere, and
Yeah.
just like it costs more to eat healthy, it costs more to be green.
I don't think, so when I was looking at this thing, for the clean communities, this implementing a sustainable purchasing policy, that is what it's talking about, and that is the resources that they will give you. So I would like to approach Laura with not only doing the clean communities, but understanding it on this level, on plastic-free. That's kind of our next focus. Does that make sense, David? So it's kind of like what you're saying, it is what
Right.
you're saying.
But the policy without implementation is, it has to be implemented, which means you're gonna do it. So, yeah, I don't wanna create a rule that no one's gonna follow, or write a policy that people will just scoff at. So that's why I look at it from the reverse. how is the person having the party gonna actually follow the rules? When we make the policy that says, please follow this policy. We need to give them an avenue to actually do it, not just say, you know, here's our policy. It's great to have the policy, but without it being implemented, it's, you know,
Mm-hmm.
implemented like we implemented the gardens, you know, it was a nice idea, but it's even better that we did it.
Right.
Yeah.
I like getting stuff done.
Yeah, and that's what, well, you know, to make a change, that's what I would,
I don't necessarily have any more comments on that, other than to say that I would like to look into this purchasing policy, because this is just the state is, or IDEM is helping you with training and understanding that, where those supplies come from, why they're cheaper, and why they're more sustainable. And, that just makes sense, but I would like to talk more about it when I've looked into it.
I know what I'm talking about isn't strictly policy, I understand that, but it's the next logical step.
I
That's
feel
the
like it
whole-
is
it's-
policy.
Well, it's the whole point of policy, is to make a change, it isn't just to say, here's the new rule. This is like, here's what we're
Yeah.
gonna do, and here's the rule to make it happen.
Do you wanna do that though by next month, or are you thinking next?
Well, I'm thinking more of a longer term, not like next meeting, we're talking, this is the goal to push toward that. What are the steps to do it? One of them is to write the policy, but it has to be with the intent of making it happen, a real thing. And
I would like to see us, since this is already voted on, and I'd also like to see us by next July, focusing on that, what they're calling a purchasing policy, which I did not understand until I kind of looked at their videos. But they're teaching communities to do just that.
it's a good thing,
Next July, is kind of the goal.
sounds good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sounds-
that works for me.
Sounds great.
Yep.
Okay. That's a really good suggestion. And the most obvious, probably, I don't know if it's the most obvious, but
It's the low hanging fruit, that's all.
Yeah.
It's the first easy thing to see, is what we throw away the most is plastic, cups, plates, forks.
I know, I go to the village and I love their food, and I always get takeout, and it's always in a styrofoam thing,
Yeah.
which I know it's cheap.
And that's
but
the
I
worst
just-
thing, is styrofoam.
Yeah, I guess I'm coming from a point of just questioning, is there something cheaper and better?
Well, we could have a policy where they would
That
give
would
us
be
things
more-
that would be in cardboard containers and
I
paper
feel like that would
bags.
be like step two, like the first policy would be us implementing it as a town, and then step two is not a policy for them necessarily, but a voluntary, by the way, we're getting this shipment and it's super cheap, and maybe you
Yeah,
can
I
look
think
into
we
it.
need to take some steps ourselves. I mean, you can't expect to, you know,
Right.
I think we should lead by the example too. We can't just
Yeah.
be,
Mhm.
that's critical to me.
I can hear Michael, well, not Michael, but a lot of people just, that's government overreach, I can hear it in my head. But that's not what we're looking for, we're looking to lead by example.
That's okay now. Government overreach is okay.
And then if they wanna implement, if that's something our businesses find useful and
Right.
beneficial, and our residents wanna shop there more, then that's good for everybody.
Right, we don't wanna make it so it's punitive to anybody. It's
Right,
also,
right.
I can't have a party now because it's gonna cost me $500 instead of $200 for cutlery. I don't want that,
What
no.
about purchasing flatware and having them clean it when they're done?
That is there, that is there, but I think the capacity of Hawthorne Park makes that not practical.
I think that may be overreach. Because then are people really willing to
Oh my
wash their
God.
own dishes? Oh, God.
Just flatware, they can have paper.
No, but I
plates.
understand, that's not a bad idea.
Well, even
It's
having
just-
like high schoolers volunteer. Kids are always looking for volunteer hours just to say they have hours, so there you go, having kids clean
Where
plates.
were they when we wanted to plant gardens?
I know, right?
Or water.
Tell me about it. I guess it's only
Just
when
you.
NHS is in
Yeah.
session.
There's also Jenny, did you wanna mention the event that they're doing for Plastic Free July?
What is it? What is
Oh, you
it?
don't know the event? It's happening on the 27th, I think.
Oh, the cleanup
There's a cleanup, yeah.
at Four Corners
Oh, I-
Winery?
Yeah, yeah,
Do you know the date and time?
No.
it's in,
I sent it in the email, I
To
can't.
clean up what, exactly?
The area around Four Corners Winery.
Oh, just to pick up the garbage around their building? Okay.
Just so you guys have the date and time, it's July 27th from 3 to 6 p.m. They will be clearing a section, and anybody's invited, this is an open invite for the community, at 600 North near Four Corners Winery, and afterwards, it looks like people are stopping in for some wine and food. I think you can do both. I think you can come for the cleanup and stay for the food, or if you can just come for the cleanup, or if you can just come for the food. It's a really nice community event, and a lot of like-minded people that will be brainstorming how to reduce plastic on a municipal level, in the community, so, and I don't know if it's yet, well, everyone that's doing it is from Porter County Recycling, the people that do the plastic, but yeah, it is, does it say it's from Porter County Recycling? I know it's Plastic Reduction Alliance of Northwest Indiana, but I know that the two people that help run that are also part of Porter County Recycling, so.
Where is, this at, where's the Four Corners Winery at?
Four Corners Winery, near 600 North, I don't know.
I know where that's at, where it connects to Route 49, but
Right. Oh, in the middle of nowhere.
I thought,
I was gonna say, you can
That's on the
get,
other
if you go down 6 towards Westville, there's a sign right after you go over the bridge, before it goes into 2 lanes. I don't know what road that
Close
is.
to 400 East, maybe it's at 600.
I can't think of what road it
Okay.
is, but I know you take a right.
okay,
But they have a sign there that says Four Corners Winery with an arrow.
It's a nice place,
yeah,
they have
it's,
good food,
Yeah.
really? Never been there.
small bites, I think.
Mm.
Okay,
Beach cleanup that day too, so we'll be real busy that day.
me and you,
What time did you say it was?
3 to 6.
3 to 6.
I assume after 6 is when the more of the gathering will happen. They have a lot of good ideas, and it's just a good brainstorm. I think if you can come after 6 too. I will be there. I hope to see you all there. Anything else, Jenny?
Yeah. Community has opened their grant program for free trees, and I let Brian know. He says he will apply when he gets back from vacation. And then there's also a possibility that Student Conservation Corps will install them for him. I asked him to let me know if he wants me to contact them. And another thing they can do is a tree planting demonstration, which could be a community outreach thing. But we'll wait till he comes back from vacation. Also, I have another community outreach program that Jim Sterer wants to do for us. He's the butterfly guy that lives on Oak Lawn. No, not Oak Lawn. What's that street?
Okay,
East Oak Hill. Yeah, and he's got a lab that he raises monarch butterflies in. He examines them for this fungus that is a possibility with home-raised monarchs. He makes sure they don't have it before he releases them. And he likes to do a program that encourages people to plant things that are helpful to the butterflies and the bees.
Did he give you suggestions on plants other than milkweed?
He's got a whole bunch of plants, and yes, he will give us suggestions.
Will he give us
Other things besides milkweed, yeah.
Will he give us suggestions on how to count the butterflies, like metrics?
Oh, no, I invited him to the meeting, but he said he might have to do something with his grandkids. I'll
What was his
Keep in
last
touch.
name again?
Starer.
I think it's Starin, Jim Starin, isn't that what it is? Starin?
I-N or I-E-R. Hang on,
Unless we're thinking of two different people.
I probably spelled it wrong. Yeah.
I know part of the native gardens is to increase the bees and butterflies. I'm always looking to quantify that data. I know that the Bradford pear that we have.
Yes, it's S-T-A-R-I, I'm sorry, S-T-A-R-I-N, Starin.
Thanks.
The Bradford pear that we have at Town Hall is an ecological dead zone, which means that like
Yes.
the native, grubs and insects don't necessarily, they're not there, but they are in our garden. So I like the choice for the gardens for that reason alone. But I'd also like just to quantify that and just really understand the impact on a number level, because I think that says a lot. And I get all that information, or I get that belief from Devon's garbage pickup.
Good job, Devin.
And the other big native gardener around here is David Keaton, and he's invited us out to see his property he's on Oak Hill too, this Friday at 10 a.m. If anybody's free, join us.
I would love to see.
750 West Oak Hill Road.
David's property was one of the properties that we looked at when we talked about our landscape recommendations. Because it has good sight lines, he knows what's there, it's not, there's no invasives. But yeah. I would love to see his garden. Anything else, Mitch?
I guess I have like something that I'd briefly like to talk about. Just like kind of brainstorming ideas of community involvement. And I know it's not unique to this board, but just sort of the lack of audience, I guess. I'd like to see different ideas to get more community involvement. And I think a big problem that we might be seeing is I don't think most of the town even knows that we exist. And so I'd like a short brainstorming session, like ideas on like how do we get the community to like know who we are. I know that that's difficult. I know that we've been putting ourselves out there, but you know, how many people does that realistically reach? I know that we've been visible on the Town of Porter page in the past, which is good. I think that was definitely
Which page, the website or the
No, we
Facebook?
love
The
it.
Facebook page.
Okay,
We're on the website, obviously, but most of the town doesn't really look at the website that much. But it's helpful that it's there, obviously, so that the town can have that resource. So I guess like I don't know. I've just thought like maybe I know that we don't really have like money really, but I do like ideas of like community newsletter kind of deal where
What about Porter's Perfect Pint? There'll be a lot of people there,
that's good.
and
Yeah.
we could probably surprise a bunch of people.
Do a table there like we did for trick or treat?
I don't know, I haven't really thought the details through. It's just somehow, you know, come out there with signs or something.
Yeah, something.
That says, hey, look at us.
we will have our garden in Hawthorne Park.
Mm-hmm.
If you wanna put another sign there, or we can just take the sign and put it there. I'm not sure if that would help.
Only if they walk by and look at it, and they're not necessarily gonna be drawn to it, so.
Yeah, and I don't think it's unique to us or even
No, it's not.
our commissions. I don't know how many people show up to the plan commission or.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
stormwater, but yeah, I think it's essential that we keep pushing and
Mhm.
keep trying to get people involved. Other than tabling, I talked to Corinne, pretty extensively last month about the, doing social media and
Mhm.
kind of decided against it, because it's just weird for a commission to do it, then we'd have to open up to all the commissions, and like, that's just not okay, and I don't know, there was several points of why we wouldn't wanna do that as a commission, but we could do it on an individual level.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not me, I wouldn't do it under my own name because I'm on the commission.
Yeah.
But something like that, that's the only thing that I was really pushing for, social media, and then it was just, it was just kind of not, it was just not gonna happen. It just wasn't a good idea. I kind of agreed with Corinne, and it wasn't a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, tabling, the only idea that I've heard that I like, and the only idea that kind of came out of that was Porter's Perfect Pint, to be there.
Yeah.
We did, the,
Trunk or treat.
trunk or treat last year. I don't know, do you guys wanna do that again? That's another, I kinda didn't know how
Yeah,
successful that was.
I don't know. Not sure how many of the kids or parents remembered why we were there dressed in our costumes, Jennifer, I don't know. But,
Maybe the European market?
Yeah, that would be good. That'd be
do
a
you have
really
to pay
good
for
idea.
those booths
No,
still?
not, we wouldn't.
You just gotta sign up with the
Not,
chamber?
the private businesses do. I think that we could get a spot. I believe. I would have to check with the chamber.
Okay.
Even then, I don't think it's like that expensive to get a booth.
I wouldn't mind doing that with somebody, cause that's a lot of people that go there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know most of us are gonna people are just gonna walk by, but there's a lot of exposure there. People
Yeah,
at least have
yeah.
a glance
And what's
at-
the objective? Is to get people at our meetings?
It's not necessarily to get people at our meetings. It's, well, I mean, that would obviously be a benefit, but it's more community involvement. I'd like to see whenever we do some sort of like community, like project. So like, for example, the cleanup that we did, to get more of members of the community to be involved in events like that. So it's not just commission, but it's commission plus community.
We could ask them what they think they would like to do in terms of the environment for the town and see what their ideas are, put it out to the public. Hey, what
So
would
you
like?
want to gather ideas and to gather a list of emails almost.
Yeah, emails, sure, just, you know. I'd just like to see that it's commission plus community, not just commission all the time, if that makes sense.
Yes, right.
That does make sense.
That's it, that's my only comment.
Okay, so out of that, I will follow up, I think with Brian to understand if we can do Porter Perfect Pint, and then I will also follow up with, the chamber. What's the lady's name at the chamber?
More,
Maura.
yeah.
Yeah, she's super nice. I forgot, I do know her, but I kind of brain fogged her name. But I will follow up with her, and having said those ideas, if you guys want to email other ideas that we can do, I just don't have any.
I understand what you're saying,
We
though.
had talked about using the Porter Parks Facebook page to announce events and things we're doing. I think that's feasible, or?
I don't think Brian uses his Facebook page for himself, so I think he
Like
just
twice
kind
a year, maybe. He's just
Yeah.
too busy.
I don't think people look to social media when it comes to a lot of the government things that we do. I don't think people think of it that way. But to be in person at a location is going to affect the local people we want to affect, so we don't need to reach out to people in Chesterton, really. It's just town of Porter, right?
And yeah, the neighborhood native garden walks were designed for community outreach, but having done 4 of them, a lot of community do not want to be outreached.
Yeah.
So that is,
Did you happen to make flyers and post flyers at the library or at Porter Bank,
That's a good idea.
at
Flyers
the
would
park
be good.
department? That might, because you get a lot of people that go into the library to Porter Bank,
Yeah,
the park department,
Yeah.
that's a good idea.
wherever they have a bulletin board, why couldn't you just post some flyers when you're doing events?
Yeah, that's definitely a good idea to incorporate that as well.
Like the
Yeah.
August 12th garden walk.
well, if I'm talking about flyers, then I need to
I know, I
turn my attention to Devin.
All right.
Do you want to, you make the best flyers, you really do.
Whatever you got for me, I'm ready to do it.
Would you like to make a flyer for the neighborhood native garden walk?
I'll figure. I can join if we're gonna do a map committee. Side note, I can try to figure that out.
I think the biggest thing for me when we talk about community outreach is we have to have a reason to be outreaching. If we're gathering ideas, if that's the objective, then that's gonna give us a whole new list of what the idea is.
Yeah.
Right, but the goal isn't necessarily just the idea for me, it's when you ask someone for the idea, then they become more involved in the community, and then, yeah, it's about the idea, but it's also the person, allowing that person to give that idea makes them feel they're part of it, and they're not being dictated to by the commission, here's what's gonna happen. I think if you do more of that, people take ownership of what's going on and are more willing to join in on those things. I think so. It does more than one thing. Yeah, we want ideas, but we want people to know that we value their input.
Okay. If kind of recruiting, for lack of a better word, is also the objective, recruiting to make these ideas and projects come to life, and have more community involvement. I do like the flyers idea. We are doing that through the neighborhood walks. And also, Friday at 10 a.m., we will be meeting members of the community, a member of the community.
Yes.
And I think that's really good. I think Jenny does a great job of keeping people connected.
I would also add just something that I think is important to mention is that it also helps with the longevity of this commission, being able to find people who are willing to take over, because we're not going to be here forever, so finding people who are active, willing, engaged to take our spots whenever that happens.
Speak for yourself, Matt. I live here now.
No, you're
I'm
exactly right, Mitch. I
We
agree
do have
100%.
turbulence.
We need people vying for our seats.
Yes. Yeah.
Is any commission in Porter that way, though?
I don't.
We do have, but Mitch, we do have lofty goals, so
Yeah.
I will go with your gold standard. And I will recruit and gather ideas and do everything in my power to get the community involved, as I did in the plan commission. But yeah, I do think it's a good idea. I know, what we did talk about, and I know the meeting's running a little bit longer, but, we did talk about, Allison, who, resigned from her seat. And, we talked a little bit about, if the commission should just have other, boards on representing, because you are stormwater, I am plan, you're Juneland Schools, Jenny is in a league of her own, and you are
I'm
ex-town
just a
council.
citizen.
But town council, so you're very knowledgeable. So I think Laura Madigan had mentioned that she would really like another RDC member on this. And I think my suggestion was, that's great. I'm sure that any RDC member will be welcomed and work well with us. But it's also, like you said, very important to have outside ideas.
Yes, yes, I'd like to see community members be on the board, as many as possible. That we
Well-
can within the bounds, you know.
Different community members
Different, yes.
than that's
yeah.
on the RDC.
Mhm.
I think that that makes sense. We are designing our ordinance in that way, so that's like another third thing. So, yeah. Okay. Having said that, I just want to make sure I got my homework right. I want to make sure that the next three things to meet that objective is to talk about Porter's Perfect Pint, to do the European market, and then to have flyers for this neighborhood walk.
Yep, love it.
And 10 a.m. If we can make it, I don't, are we all gonna come there? Doesn't that overwhelm one resident?
I don't know what his parking situation is. We
Yeah.
could ride together.
I'm sure he would love to show off his yard, though. I would love to see it as well.
I do too. I love looking at people's
It's
gardens.
I'll
beautiful.
probably have a truck in my way if someone wants to pick me up.
I'll pick you up if you need to. All right.
Okay. And then Devin, flyers, is that okay?
Yeah, yeah. Just whatever information I need, all in one place is really helpful. Then from there, I can just make the flyer, different versions of the flyer.
All of the information is on this. I will help
Alright.
you hang them, or if you give them to me, I will have Corinne print them. And then we can all, I could send them out. You guys can do your own social media stuff, and then we can, I always put one at Red Cup.
Okay.
You can put them other places.
And then I'm sorry. What was this? It's for the
It's for the
native
garden.
gardens and the walk. That's what the poster
It
for.
really
Native
needs to have a
garden walk.
map. on
Map.
it.
Yeah.
I
And then
can
what you should do is list, where they're at,
email
each
you
location and their address.
Okay.
Needs one. Porter Park probably doesn't need one, but Town Hall could have the address, and then there's Augsburg Lutheran.
Okay.
So they should be listed as where they're
Maybe
at,
get
the
a
name
hold
of
of-
them.
Jenny, maybe let him know what you decide.
They're already all for it.
No, but let him know so he can put it on the flyer.
I can write down right now.
Okay. And then if you have the flyer done by August 1st, that'll be plenty of time to promote it.
Oh, that's fine.
Any other board comments? Thank you, Mitch.
Yeah. Just so we can.
I think that's a good idea. I think I kind of give up on it sometimes.
It's okay.
It'll take.
It's hard.
Any other board comments?
Nope.
Nope, not for me.
Okay.
Franklin?
I think that's it. I'm looking for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay? Thanks, guys.